Good morning. No, she only want to see if I got some. I ain't got nothing. Don't you peck my hand. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing. Ouch! I told you I ain't had nothing. You bite my hand like that for a girl. What wrong with you? Stop. Stop. I said, you see ain't nothing in my hand, ain't it? Come here. Come here. And who told y'all to get out? Who told y'all to get out? Good morning, Rooster Rooster. Got 2 eggs this morning. You know, chickens done slow down for molt season. So yesterday, I think I got 4 eggs yesterday, but they normally slow down when it goes into fall season and they start molting, which they lose a lot of their feathers and they grow new feathers. So I stopped sharing eggs. Yeah, I won't be sharing any more eggs. I gave away about 40 the other day, but won't be sharing no more because they slowing down, baby. I just got 2 this morning. Yep. Anyway, I hope y'all having a blessed morning. You know what I want to tell you, people of God? Hang around folk who always getting something done. Folk who work hard. I know some people will tell you because they done figured out an easy way to easily scheme people and get money from folk. So some people will tell you, oh, you work too hard. You ain't got to work that hard. Don't hang around them kind of folk, especially when you got something lucrative and you're doing good. Don't hang around folk. See, what I was saying is, you hang around folk who inspire you, who always got something going on. Guess what? You're going to always have something going on. Because they ain't going to bring you down, baby. They're going to bring you up. Yep. They're going to always bring you up. And I'm talking, and I'm giving this advice based off of, you know, my own experiences. You know, even in the world we live in today, there are people out there who are still doing things, accomplishing things that are very admirable, you know, and you start to cling to those folks, you're going to learn things. I've always been that type of individual. Even when I was in college, you know, most of my close friends in college, well, I only had one solid sister. We were tight, but you know, we use that word friend very loosely. So most of as far as when it came to the other student body, I only had one solid sister. But the people that I was very close with in college, that I could really just you know, open up with and learn things from and learn about them, I had were my professors, you know. They were my professors. So on, you know, on some evenings or whatever, instead of me going out to a club or something like that, I would have dinner. One of my professors, we would have dinner sometimes, and I would ask a lot of questions. And then sometimes even in the midday, when I would have those, you know, sometimes you have blocks in your schedule where I didn't have any courses, or my last course maybe would have been at 12 o'clock. You know, I'd call up one of my favorite professors. What you want for lunch today? We eating lunch. I would treat. And then at first we had to build a bond, right? So I was always kind of, I always kind of was independent. I worked all through college. You know, I always had a job. You know, I worked for UPS and I worked at Wendy's. I had multiple jobs. I always kept a job, and it was necessary. You know, I had my own vehicle. I had me a little 99 Dodge Durango. But, you know, I would treat my professors to lunch, and then one of them, she and I, we got really, really close. And then sometimes I would buy lunch, she would buy lunch. She would say, oh, no, baby, I'm paying today, you know. And she would give me a lot of advice. I would learn, you know, and then she would share things with me on a professional level. I would see things that she was dealing with that, you know, you at that time going to college, you probably wouldn't pay attention to what's going on behind with the staff. But I would learn a lot through her and her level of experience, you know, what she go through. And there always was haters, baby, because she was the head of the department at one time, and there were haters that she was dealing with. So I learned a lot. You know, I was always a wise young child. That's what people always would tell me. People would always say that. Well, you beyond your years. I would hear that a lot Well, at first, initially, I was young. I didn't used to really understand that, but I always hung around folk that I admired, and folk who, it was always, majority of the time, it was folk who were older than me because they were wiser than me, and you can learn a lot, folk who are older than you, um, they're wiser because they've been in this earth longer. The longer you are in this earth, the wiser you become. Or should I say, that's how it should be, right? That's how it should be. Because you got some young folk these days. I met a young man the other day. I said, wow, you are beyond. He was in his 20s, and he has a business, and the things that he was doing, I said, he's doing better than some folk I know that are 3 times his age. So, God can gift anybody. But when you hang around folk who inspire you, who are always getting things done, who you admire, who are very admirable, who are successful, that's going to rub off on you. Yeah, that's going to rub off on you, and you don't know what those folk have gone through to get where they are. A lot of folk are envied because people look at their success from the outside. People look at their accomplishments, but they don't know the hell that some of these folk had to go through. And when you get close to people like that, and you support them, you love on them, you compliment them, you may be surprised because you may learn, wow, I thought you had all this. You would think that people, sometimes you look at people on the outside, you think that they have such a strong support system, but that's not always the case. Some of those people had to fight to get where they were, and then when they made it, come here, my tell you, when they made it, then they had to fight to stay where they were. So somebody like you come along, it don't matter what your age is, you may be a blessing in disguise to them, because you may come along with that love, with that paying homage, giving them compliments that they never really receive, and being sincere with it, and you may give them the feedback that some people never gave to them because they wanted to hurt them, they wanted to break them down. You'd be surprised. I met folk who are this one lady, very successful. She's I think she said she's close to 70, but if you were to see her, you wouldn't think that. And she's been through a lot. She had a lot of turmoil in her life. She's raised all her kids. All her kids are grown and successful, and she's now a business owner. She's debt free. She doesn't have to want for anything, but she didn't get there overnight, baby. She had a rough time, and we would sit, sometimes we meet at the Starbucks or something, and she and I, we met through a business a transaction that I was having to have, and she was surprised at some of the things that I had accomplished, and when she asked my age or whatever. And so she started talking, giving me advice, and I was surprised. And I was like, wow, you are my motivation. And she was like, well, you inspire me as well. And so we just kept in contact, and the things that this lady shared that she had to go through, and then where she is now, it's like, wow. And she said she doesn't have friends. She said the one friend that she had, she was like, I'm tired of, she's always broke. She's all, because this lady she's made, like I said, she's successful. She's nearly 70 now. She doesn't have to want for anything, and she's made a mark in life. And a lot of what she explains, what she's going through, is like, I'm coming up in her way, and she sees how I am. I'm independent, but she's like, the last friend that she had, it's like she's always needy. And see, people of God, you have to be careful. Even though we cling with people, it's good for us to get in the atmosphere of people we admire, but also you have to be aware of predators, whether they're male or female. Because when people are just have a heart of using other people and stepping on other people's neck to get to the top, you got to be aware of people like that. They'll come around you telling you all the sweetest things you want to hear, complimenting you. Be very careful with people want to just compliment you so much and making you feel so good, and they don't really know you like that. I'm not saying that everybody you should just put up a red flag, but give it time. Time always reveals itself, and you can learn people, because people can't hide what's on the inside of them but for so long. You got some people that can pretend very well, but if somebody has a good heart and what they're doing is genuine, you're gonna know over time, because it's like they don't need you for nothing. You know what I'm saying? They complimenting what they see, and they don't know you. They not trying to throw themselves in your life, because some people will do that and try to throw themselves in your life. Where you stay at? You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you from firsthand experience, and it doesn't seem like I'm the only one who's gone through these things. But you'll have people, they will try to throw themselves in your life after giving you a little insincere praise, because they see something about you that they want to use you as a stepping stone, but they're not going to tell you. You know what I'm saying? Your discernment got to be on point, and so This lady explained to me she cut folk off because it's like, what do I need them for? You're always the needy person. Not saying that we don't help people, yeah, because if you got true solid folk in your life, when you're down, they're gonna have your back. When they're down, then you're gonna have their back. Time reveals all of that too. It takes time to see how folk will treat you in certain situations, see how they handle your up, see how they handle your accomplishments, see how they handle when you're down. Are they going to talk about you? Are they going to look down on you? Are going to tell all your business? See how they handle when you're up, when they see other folk loving on you. See, some folk can't take that. It may sound weird. It may sound weird, but some people cannot take other people loving on you and supporting you. They may start off good and in your corner, but if they see other people loving on you and supporting you, sometimes you'll notice people start acting funny too. That's weird. I don't know what it could be. I don't know. Sometimes people will start backing away. They may feel like they may lose your friendship or something. I don't know what it is. I ain't trying to make no excuses, but that's weird. People will do that if they can't handle your success sometimes, and they don't want to they don't want to be in your light. And then there's some people that are too envious and jealous of you. They can't never tell you that they're proud of you. They can't never give you no kind words or nothing like that. They're gonna always find a way to watch you in secret, sit back and watch you in secret, and they may be learning from you, but they'll never tell you. They'll never tell you. And then listen, sometimes it'll be weird because you'll meet some folks sometime, and then when you get in their presence, you'll see they talking like you, or you'll see that folk are saying some of the things that you just recently been saying. Or like if you got a social media account, you may see folks saying things that you recently posted, and you be like, I know I'm the only one been saying that, but that's because they be watching you in secret. They ain't telling you. I'm telling you now, folk is a trip. But as you continue to grow in this life, people of God, as we continue to grow, do good. Always do good. Even when you encounter wrong, even when you encounter evil people, even when you encounter folk who don't necessarily do right back by you, you still do right. You still do good, because right and good always gonna win. You ain't never gonna have to there's some things God just gonna lift off of you. There's some, even when you go through things, you're gonna always have supernatural help. You're gonna always have spiritual help protecting you, guiding you. Even when folk come against you in the worst way, sometimes you're gonna find if you could just press your way through that and trust God and pray, you will see some of them same folk fall down. Some of them will fall down to their death. Some of them will fall down to their sick bed. Some of them will just fall down and start being quiet. Some of them will come back and have to apologize, and you won't have to lay a finger or do nothing. That's the power of God. You will see things work out for yourself. Sometimes when you're going through hard situation, you may have a financial situation that's tough for you. But if you just keep doing good one day at a time, eventually that'll work itself out too. God will send folk to bless you. God will send folk to open doors for you with things that it could have cost you something that may could have cost you $5,000 is now only costing you $2,500. That's God. That's supernatural favor, But always do good, because whatever we do is going down in our history books, and we're going to have to give an account for everything. And so, because none of us is perfect, and all of us may have made mistakes sometimes, right? So don't be afraid to apologize when you're wrong, when you find that you're wrong too. Oftentimes we can't see ourselves, other folks see us. So sometimes it takes, God will send sincere folk in your life that love you enough to give you hard feedback, and you're gonna know when it's sincere. They're not going, especially if you have built a platform for yourself, a brand for yourself. Nobody's never gonna do anything that could intentionally bring your brand down, or discredit you publicly. They will correct you in private. They will praise you in public, admonish you in private, and you gotta appreciate folk like that, because how you gonna grow? You can grow from constructive criticism, and you appreciate folk, you love on folk, and don't be afraid. Don't be the type of person, don't be too prideful to say sorry when you're wrong, because we've all wronged folk or done things, even if it's saying something and you're not aware that you're saying that you're offending somebody. And have grace and mercy for folk. When folk can sit down and explain themselves and try to correct themselves, have grace and mercy for folk. Don't jump on the bandwagon when you see folk throwing people all under the bus and coming against people's name and stuff like that. Don't be quick to jump on the bandwagon like that. God ain't need nothing like that. You have some folk that who will try to jump on the bandwagon and just tarnish people's name because they see the momentum of that person's name being tarnished. But it may be their day today, it'll be yours tomorrow. And I'm talking something serious. There's a singer, I'm not even gonna call the name, but there's a sister who, a big sister who, she said some things over some time. You know, she just got a bold, harsh way of speaking sometimes. She says things that offended a lot of people sometimes, you know, and then a lot of things she says sometimes it wasn't always not the truth. She just has a bold way of speaking, but that's her. That's who she is. But there are people that don't like her and that hate her for the way she speaks, rather than just tune off and not look at anything she's doing, or not go and support anything she's having, rather than just focus your attention somewhere. There are some people that hate that, and they want to shut her down and tarnish her name. So you have some folk who seemingly act like as if they come in love, and if they come, they want to give you an opportunity to express yourself and to tell your side of the story, but really deep down inside they don't like you either. So what it is you have to be careful when someone acts as if you've done something wrong, and someone acts as if they're extending an olive branch to you. Sometimes they just want to find something to keep that momentum going because they don't like you, you know. And I could clearly see this particular sister that I'm referring. She was put in a situation where she was caught off guard by many things, but she handled herself gracefully and still was bold. But it wasn't, that whole conversation was not set up. Come here, Daniel. Where Mate? Come here, Mate. Was not set up to something that could just give her a calm atmosphere to really express herself. It was just, in my opinion, it was just to find something on her to add momentum and open up wounds that were already healing, to reopen those things, to continue tarnishing this sister's name. And I don't believe in doing that. Even if you're somebody that wronged me, I don't believe in doing that to another sister. That ain't never been in my DNA. And I pray to God in the name of Jesus that you never let me be that type of snake type of person, just because I have a platform, or, you know what I'm saying, just because I have a large following, that I could throw fire on another brother or sister's name. If anything, if I can't say nothing to help you, I'd never say nothing to try to harm my other brothers and sisters. Even if I don't like what you've done, I will find a way to let you know in private, or say something where I'm not even adding your name to it, just to try to give you a hint. Because like I said, oftentimes we can't see ourselves. That's what you call grace and mercy, you know. And it may be their day to day, or her day to day, but baby, them tables can turn in a blink of an eye. And when God be for you, no demon in hell can come against you. Even if you've used your mouth incorrectly and offended some people, the favor of the Father is still with her. But anyway, that's all I'm gonna say about that. People of God, stand for righteousness, stand for good. It ain't that many righteous people out there in the world. That's why you're going to always see a majority that come against something when you trying to speak the truth, or you trying to do what's right. A lot of people like wrong, you know, so there's strong numbers in being wrong, you know. But sometimes when you walk in a path of righteousness, like many of you carry the light. And because you carry that light, you've gone through things, you've experienced things, you were ostracized. Many times you didn't understand it, but now you've come into understanding, you realize what you truly carry. But before you understood what you carry, there were numbers against you that you didn't. You'd be like, dang, why are so many people against me? Nobody is seeing the righteousness in this. That's because majority of people in the world is wrong. There's a lot of wrong people that know people don't want to see right. When somebody don't like you, you can come to them in the sweetest, kindest way. But because they don't like you, they'll sit there and they'll look at you like they kind, but in their heart, they can be very manipulative with their language to try to find a way to bait you into saying something where they can weaponize your words against you, because they don't like you. They're not trying to make peace. So you do what's good on the inside. When you know that you're doing what's good, you're going to be able to sleep good at night. No matter what happens in the world, you may see sad things that make you feel down sometimes. You may go through little things that make you feel uncomfortable, but your joy gonna always refill itself. Your joy gonna always be refilled. Good morning, sunshine. When you see this video, then you will know that was you, your text. It just popped up. Good morning, sunshine. How are you this morning? But anyway, let me get on to doing what I got to do. I got a lot of little things I need to do today. All right? Stay busy. Be too busy to be mean. Be too busy to hold on to resentment. Be too busy to get in gossip. Be too busy to be envious. Be too busy to be hateful. And always be willing to teach somebody. Always be willing to teach somebody that's humble enough to learn from you. And always be a student, you know. Always be willing to learn and ask questions. A lot of things that I can do now. There are a lot of things that I can do. I have the skill and the knowledge, and I don't have the certifications in certain areas yet, because I've never really had the time to go and certify in certain things. But then there are a lot of things that I have the certification for, and I never had to go to anybody's school. I was able to go and take a test, and boom, I got this certification. Certifications that may have cost somebody $5,000 over here. You know, certification that may have cost somebody, you know, $2,500 or $10,000 over here. I can do these things without having to go to anybody's school. Why? Because I was always willing to be a student. I was always humble enough to pay homage to those who came before me that were admirable. And I was always willing. It never take nothing out of me to compliment my brothers and sisters when I see them doing their things. It actually makes me feel good, having folk that I can look up to, and even younger folk. I don't care if you're younger than me. If a young folk doing their thing, you can learn a lot of stuff from young people. You know, you can learn from anybody. Age don't even matter. Age ain't the thing no more. It's about humility. It's about what's in the heart. Are they respectful? You know, are they honest? Are they admirable? You know, is their integrity intact? You learn a lot from folk. You know, I was never too prideful to tell folk, you know, thank you so much. I appreciate you. I always compliment greatness when I see it, and I always try to live an honest and upright way, you know, not perfect, you know. And when I make a mistake and somebody make me know about it, when I do something that maybe offends somebody, my brother, sister, I'm not, it's nothing in me that too prideful where I can't pick up the phone and say, hey man, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize I said this right here, but I ain't mean it like that. I didn't even know how I come across until I, you know what I'm saying? Something, or if somebody brings something to your attention, don't listen to them and see where they're coming from. You ain't got to entertain everything, because especially when you are rising and you're doing a lot and you are out in the public, you're going to have a lot of people that just try to bring BS to you just because they bored and they ain't got nothing to do. Some folk just sit home all day looking on a computer, and some folk will just do things just to try to rattle your feathers. You got to have discernment too to know what to actually is to entertain, what is worthy of your attention, and what is not. It's crazy because you got, every time you do good, evil still gonna be present. So you got to know how to discern evil and be like, oh, okay, I ain't paying that no attention. But there are folk that will come to you out of sincerity, and you take the time to acknowledge them, you know, and grow. We need each other now more than ever. We need each other now more than ever. Forgive folk. Have grace and mercy for folk. There may be folk who know they did things to you a long time ago, and they probably never had the courage to come back to you because they know what they did or what they said or how they tried to tarnish your name. It was bad. And some of them folk probably carrying that guilt. But if those folk can come back to you, or they, you know, send you a letter or something, you know, and, you know, they ain't always got to make contact. Have grace and mercy. You know, I know me personally, there are a lot of folk who owe me apologies, and some of them never apologize, but they didn't have to. I forgive them from the jump. Because if you don't forgive somebody, you're going to carry that on the inside of your heart, and that will make you turn into something that you probably are not. You know, you won't, if you carrying what somebody constantly did to you, you're going to stay on your mind. How can you create? How can you stay focused? You know, how can you focus on something new? How can you, you know, be full of joy? You really can't, because you still harboring the wrong that people done to you. You got to let it go. You know, forgive folk, even the ones that never say they sorry. But anyway, let me get off my little soapbox. I didn't say it a lot. I didn't say it a whole lot. I got stuff to do this morning. I got to go, and I got stuff to do. Have a blessed day, people of God. I love you. We are the light of the world. Remember, don't never let your light grow dark. Keep shining bright. And we know that the blood of Jesus is the only blood that has some power. Go out in this world and be great. Help your brother and sister do stuff. And let me tell you something, people of God. With the way things is going in this earth, have something valuable. Create something now. Think about what is going to be a necessity. What can you do? Can you sew? Can you repair clothes? You know, if services and stuff stop, like what's going on in some of these other countries and stuff like that, what can you do that's needed? Can you make clothes? You know, can you produce food? You know, do you have something that people will need, and where you can trade for that thing? You know, have something that's valuable. What do people need? People always gonna need to eat. So if you, I always said this for years, if you know how to grow food, if you was a successful farmer, baby, you was a billionaire. And it ain't about the money, it's just about you. You will never have to lack. You will never want for anything. The whole world, every human being and animal in this earth need food to sustain itself, need food to live. So now your hands, by the grace of God, can produce something that is needed. Food is always needed. Any kind of food, food is always needed. What else? What type of services can you provide? And these are things to think about and ponder over, and start this thing now while we have the ability to purchase things that we need to help us get going, and figure out whatever it is you decide that the society needs, that your brothers and sisters will need. Find resources to make which produce more of what you need to make that thing, without always having to go out and buy it, if that makes sense. I hope I said that right. I hope you understood what I was trying to say. Find ways to make your own stuff, and just have a circle, make it full circle for yourself. Right? If that makes sense. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. I hope you caught it. For example, I give an example. Like, for example, if you have something that you can produce, like let's use chickens as an example. Let's say you got chickens. Well, you got to buy chickens. If those chickens die, you got to go and buy more chickens. But if you know how to let those chickens hatch, go broody and hatch their own, and you know how to protect them, then you never have to buy chickens again. Or if you have like an incubator, and you know how to constantly supply power to that incubator, where you can take those eggs and you can keep a rooster going, where you can, you know what I'm saying? Then now you got your own cycle of life, where even when your chickens die, you never have to buy anymore, because you can keep producing your own. That's what I'm trying to say. Find things like that. Whatever it is that you start, try to find something that you can keep producing. All right? I love you. Have a blessed day.